Righto, little lip hooked blackfish. See you later, mate. Wonder if I should put a fresh Jan juckworm on. He hasn't touched. No, I'll leave that one on. I don't reckon they're too fussy, old blackfish. Well, that's good. I'm on the board. I'm on the board and there's still a little bit of light. It's always good if you can get one or two before it starts getting too dark. Oh, bite straight away. As soon as I put it in, the moment that hit the bottom, I had a bite. Just swimming with it. Got him. Here's a bigger one. Oh, he's just 30 centimetre blackie. Oh, look at the size of this blackfish. This is huge. This is a huge blackfish. This is going to be close to 30. I reckon it's going to be 30. This is going to be a 30 centimetre blackfish. I reckon I've got myself a 30 centimetre blackfish here, folks. I reckon I've just caught myself a 30 centimetre blackfish. That is absolutely beautiful. I'll get a measure in a second, but I want to get a quick photo first. It's very dark, but folks, I've just caught a 31 centimetre freshwater blackfish. And folks, I've got some exciting news, and it might offend some people, but some will be impressed. We've got a catch and cook blackfish video coming right up. I'm going to keep this one. I'm not going to keep any more. I just want to keep one. In the name of science, let's film a catch and cook blackfish video with this 31 centimetre blackfish. Now, I'm going to keep fishing. If I catch one that's 50 centimetres long, I'll throw it back. I just want one for the video. The rest can go back. I am excited, you little ripper. Righto, folks, welcome to the kitchen. Now, it's time to set up a stove to cook this blackfish. And I'm going to be cooking it on my MSR Whisperlite Shellite burner. Let's set it up. Right, now I should have everything here that I need. A plate, some marge, a knife and fork, a lifter, my stove is in here, my blackfish, my camping frying pan, the handle that holds it. Right, let's set it up. This is my MSR Whisperlite stove. That has got Shellite in it. That is a pump. The pump goes into the bottle, fills it with pressure, which the pressure then pushes the fuel through the fuel line and to the stove. I take that lid off, put it over here somewhere, and I put the pump in. I then connect the burner to the bottle. Alright, now what I've got to do is pump up the bottle. This puts air pressure into the bottle. Now, what I need to do is turn the fuel on just for a little bit and then turn it back off again, just so that it pours a little bit of Shellite into the cup underneath that stove. I want to watch it until I see it get wet. There it is. Now when I light that, it'll go woof, and there'll be a little fire. Now, that's just the fuel under there burning. The whole design of this is doing exactly what it's supposed to. That flame is going to heat that copper pipe. Once that copper pipe is hot, it evaporates the Shellite that's going through it, turning it to a gas. At the moment it's a liquid, but once the pipe is hot, it evaporates from a liquid to a gas. And that's when, once it's a gas, it turns into a gas stove. But you've got to go through this initial heating part first. I'll give it a bit more fuel. It's starting to get gassy. I can hear it. Here we go. And there we go, there's the burner. And it gets very hot. Right, now this Shellite burner is a very hot stove, it burns very hot. Now with this frying pan, even on a really low flame, it's still going to get very hot. I want a lot of heat. I'm going to be deliberately burning the hell out of this blackfish. The reason being, if you cook it nicely and then crank the heater up and then burn the skin is possibly the nicest part of the fish. So I'm going to cook it, then I'm going to crank it up and I'm going to burn it. And I'm telling you that now so you don't think I've done it as an accident. Let's go and get it on. And remember, this is a very hot stove, so it's going to hiss and sizzle a lot. Okay, see if I can turn that down a bit without it going out. I think that wants to go out. That's about as low as I'm going to get it, I think, and it could even go out if I'm not careful. Let's just put the old frying pan on, chuck a bit of marge in. The reason I'm cooking it like this on this camping stove is just to try and mimic what I'd be doing if I was out the bush, if I was out camping. Now I want a lot of margarine here. I like to cook a little bit of blackfish with my margarine. Now I'm going to put my blackfish in while that margarine's still melting. That's perfectly fine. Some people call these blackfish a greasy. I'm going to have to break its head off so that it fits into the pan. I'll do that off the camera. Right, let's put it in. As I was saying, some people call these blackfish a greasy. You might have heard them being referred to as greasy. Greasy, blackfish, they're the same fish. And there it is under my O-light. Looking good. Watch this, it's going to curl up like a banana. They always do that. So now I just want to cook it nice and slowly until I think the meat's cooked all the way through, and then I'm going to crank that heat right up and really burn that skin. I've eaten a lot of blackfish over the years, but not for quite a long time. When I was a kid, I used to really enjoy catching them and cooking them when I was out camping with my dad. This brings back memories. It's staying nice and flat, and that's good. These things do have a real habit of curling up like bananas when you're trying to cook them. If they do that, if they curl right up, the best thing to do is just hold your spatula or your egg lift on them, just hold them flat. Hold them flat while they cook. Might up the heat a little bit. Alright, now we've got a lot more heat to work with. Now it's going to start sizzling like mad. Now we've got maximum heat. Yes, that is perfect. That level of black burntness is exactly what you want. Turn that off now. Right, now that is almost what I would call a perfectly cooked blackfish. You want it burnt. That's what you want to do. You want to crank the heat right up at the end so that you sear that skin. That skin is edible. That is very, very nice. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip these fins off. They can go to buggery. Now, take the top fin off. Take a bit more of the skin off. Put down here. Now so you can see here that the blackfish has a very, very white flesh. Now you just pull that back bit off. Put that over this side. Then you take the meat off the bones. That hasn't been hugely successful, so there's going to be a few bones in that bit. Now, flip it over and do the same thing. Now there's all my meat. There's the skeleton. Most of the bones are still on here, but a few did break off. That's okay. That's fish. You've got to expect that. There's the good bits. There's the rubbish. Let's put a bit of salt on and see how it tastes. As you can see, there's not a huge amount of meat on a blackfish. They're long and skinny. Let's set this big bit of skin first. Just that skin is beautiful. Now the skin alone is magnificent. Have some flesh. Absolutely beautiful. Right, now I might just get a bit, I can still get a little bit of meat off the tail here, look, there's still a little bit of meat on here. Don't want to waste it, they're only a small fish, you want to get as much of it as you can. Freshwater blackfish catch and cook, what's the verdict? Well, the flesh is a really nice, juicy white flesh, and it's very sweet, absolutely beautiful. The skin is absolutely beautiful, but I think you really need to burn it. It's important to use quite a lot of margarine, and then when the fish is cooked, crank the heat up for an extra 20 or 30 seconds each side, and really burn that skin. The skin is beautiful, the meat is beautiful, but the bones are a bit of an issue. They're a long, slender fish, so there's not a lot of meat on them. You wouldn't be able to fillet them. You have no choice but to cook them whole. And considering the small size that they are up here on the northern side of the Great Dividing Range, you're probably better off to stick to eating yellow belly or redfin. But it's good for something different. If you're camping with the kids, it might be a great idea for the kids to try and catch a 30cm blackfish, cook one up and taste it. Great fun, and they do taste magnificent, but there's not much of them and they're a little bit bony. Right, folks, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this freshwater blackfish catch and cook. If you have, why not give me a big fat thumbs up or two, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.